Yeah, so my question is, what qualities do you need to get a scout's attention?
So thank you for that question. It's for us, it's obviously position dependent. So if you're a goalkeeper, you need obviously different qualities to a striker, or centre back, different qualities to a winger. If I have to answer it in a general way, it would be that you need to have a super strength, in my opinion. So something that really defines your game. So it could be your ability 1 versus 1 against a defender. It could be your defending 1 versus 1. It could be your passing. But you need to have something that you feel is a really, really strong point in your game. And then I think it's minimize your weaknesses. So if you are very one-footed, you need to try and work on your other foot to try and make sure that you know, that those, because what happens is that the scout looks at you like an opponent would look at you. So if an opponent can see that you're weak on your left foot, then they will close you down and make sure that you use your left foot as much as possible. So it's important to have super strength, having that super power. That, you know, and all the top players in the world have it. If you look at the top players around the world, they all have something very, very special about them. Some have more than one good quality about them, but then it's also about making sure that you don't have any weaknesses that are noticeable. And if you do have a weakness, then hopefully the coaches in Cape Town's structure can then coach that out of you. So that's the first thing on the field. Then off the field, it's about your mentality, and it's also about the person that you are. Because you could be a great footballer now, and Elias, how old are you?
14.
14. Okay. So I currently consider players at 15 years old and older. Okay. So you could be a great player now. But how I need to look at what kind of person you are. Are you intelligent? Are you good at school? All those different elements. Because if you are, it's easier for a coach to coach and make you better as a player. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Next to the one and only JVA, Jesse Van Ass. To give you an idea, Jesse is an under 11. He is currently playing for the under 12 high performance squad. He's been with us since the very beginning, since he could barely run. He's actually probably one of the youngest under 11s we have, and he was already playing under 12 last year as an under 10. So he's definitely one of our best up and comers. So yeah, Jesse, what is your question for Grant?
Was Cape Town City the team that you wish to scout for?
Good question. He's put you on the spot here.
So I think that you have to remember, Jesse, that Cape Town City is quite a new club. So it's a new club. It's only been formed about 4 years ago. So if I have to think about if I look back and I had to say, would I want to scout for the best PSL club in Cape Town? Then yes, that would definitely be something that I would look to do. When Cape Town City started, and all the marketing and the players that they brought in and how they started, it was definitely an attractive place to want to scout because there's so much potential. When you're starting with a new club, people refer to it as a blank canvas. There's no bad things in the past. You can only look forward. So it definitely has been a place that I've wanted to scout at, and I still want to continue because there's so much more potential in the future. And Jesse, just also on your point, that I'm a big believer in Cape Town players and the talent. So for me to be able to scout Cape Town-based players for a Cape Town-based team is my ultimate dream because there is so much talent in Cape Town. Actually, scouts from around the world will tell you how much natural talent there is in Cape Town. So it definitely is a place that I wanted to scout at, and I'm doing it now. So I'm living the dream.
Awesome. Jesse, does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go down to Dylan Lay. Dylan is also one of our under 12 players in the high performance team.
Hello, sir.
Good in yourself, Dylan?
I practice every day, but How can I make myself a more confident player?
More confident player. That's a very good question. I think it's, you say that you practice every day, but how do you practice every day? What do you do? Tell me the details of what you do.
Well, I usually with my dad, so like he does a whistle sound and then I run back and then I run through the cones and then I just, the ball is on the spot and then I shoot.
Okay. So you're doing drills. With confidence, it's important that obviously your skills, you make sure that you maintain your skills all the time. It's about thinking what you want to do in the future. Like where do you want to be? What club do you want to be at? What kind of player you want to be in the future? Do you have a role model?
Well, I really like Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's very good.
Okay. So I think what you have to do is you have to then watch Kevin, to get more confidence. Watch Kevin De Bruyne, okay? Watch what he does. Watch the amazing things that he does do. And then what you have to say is that I want to be like him. And I'm going to do everything in my power to be like him. So he can pass really well. He can pass really good short passes. He can pass really good long passes. He can pass with both feet. He can also dribble fast plays. And try and always keep that person in your mind. And that's when you get more confident. Because the more and more you become like Kevin De Bruyne, because you follow him and you follow everything he does, so confidence is all it's in your mind. It's about how good you think you are as a player, correct? That's what confidence is. Okay, so you want to, and I said that you know you need to maybe look to a role model to say I want to be like that player, so that you get more confidence. Okay, so you said your role model is Kevin De Bruyne.
Yes.
So what you need to do is that then try and focus all your energy on saying, I want to become a player like Kevin De Bruyne. Even if there's not, like maybe there's no Premier League now, but you can go onto YouTube and look at what he does. Maybe there's videos of him training, what he does in training, and try and make a game around Kevin De Bruyne. So how good he is with long passes, with short passes. He passes with both feet. Work on those things, because the more that you feel like you're becoming like Kevin, the better you'll feel as a player, okay? And you'll have more confidence. And you'll think, I'm better than that player. I can do this. I can do that. Also, confidence is also about trying things. It's important that you make sure that you try to do things, because if you don't try and do it, you're never going to know if you're going to succeed or you're going to fail. So in practice, when you get back into the training field, maybe try and practice things at home, but then try and do things that you maybe wouldn't have done normally. And if you do it in practice, and it maybe comes in, okay? So like maybe you do a back heel as an example, okay? And you don't normally do it, but then you do a back heel and you keep practicing it. And you keep it, and in the game you might want to do it. That's all. That's how you get confidence. You have to try things as well. You have to experiment. Just try and do those things. If you don't try, then you're never going to actually be able to do it in the future. So try and do things, try and experiment. It's the most important thing to do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Cool. All right. So Dylan, are you happy with that?
Yes, thank you.
Good stuff.
Pleasure.
So just something that really stood out there for me, I was actually watching a webinar the other day on scouting and analytics and stuff like that. And one of the key things the scouts were talking about there is confidence. And something that scouts are always looking for. I think they did it on a block basis, and they were saying it's one of the main foundations of what they're looking for. So when you guys are playing, you really have to try and remember is that that's what people want to see. They want you to be confident out there, and they want to see you trying things. If it doesn't work, that's fine. You have to understand, especially in the professional, when it comes to professional scouts, they know mistakes are going to happen, but they'd rather see you try something and not maybe pull it off 100% than not try anything at all. So try and always remember that. I think most of you have been given quite a free roam within Half United. We like you to express yourself, and I think majority of that's what scouts are looking for. It's one of the main things. All right.
And Alec, if I can just, sorry, if I can just put it in, because I can see Dylan, your mom's next to you as well. Is that, and it's important that different coaches have different ways of coaching. And Alec brought up a very good point now, is that a coach, especially at your age, a coach must never tell you to stop doing something. In terms of, if you're going to try something, you must always continue to try and do it. And there's an Instagram page that maybe your mom can go onto and watch. It's called Rising Ballers, okay, which is a bunch of young UK UK talent. Because in my opinion, I think the best talent at the moment is coming out, young talent coming out of the United Kingdom, and all those players they take a lot of chances. Raheem Sterling, which is probably one of the most successful players at the moment, he's all about taking chances. And what happens is that he keeps on doing it, and he's become so good at it that now he's not even taking chances. He's actually just going past people without them even knowing. So it's just important that don't let anybody demotivate you, and always just make sure that you're trying new things. Try new things all the time, because that's what you're going to learn. That's the only way you're going to learn.
Cool. Thanks, Grant. Our youngest members, little Riley Addison, is one of our under-7 players. It's going to be a big talent in the years to come, purely just from the amount of work that he puts in. This kid is training non-stop for his age, supported by a very football-orientated dad as well, which we appreciate. So, Riley, welcome. Riley, say hello to Grant, and you can ask him what question you want to ask.
Started by a scout.
Okay. So that's a good question, and there's many different answers to that question. I'm going to use your example because it's what applies to you, Riley. So that how you get noticed is by standing out in the crowd. So what position do you play?
Left wing.
Left wing. Okay. So if you're playing left wing, many times you go past a player and put in a cross, or go past a player and take a shot on goal. Okay. How good you are against one-on-one against a defender. Okay. But you, Riley, you're very lucky because Halfway United football community is also it's a very good club, and it's also they're playing. Obviously, you're a little bit young at the moment, but you will play. You're playing in Cape Town Tigerberg, which is a very good league where I watch on a regular basis, and also then they play in the High Performance League, which is when you get under 12. So and that thing is the best. I watch that league all the time. So you're at the right place to be scouted, but what you need to do is that obviously when you get onto the field, you need to show you need to work as hard as you can. But then when you've got the ball at your feet as a winger, you need to put your magic shoes on and show you something special. And what that tells you is that you obviously work very hard and you want to learn all the time. So yeah, that's a good thing. But you're at the right time to be spotted. That's what I can say.
Cool. Riley, you happy with that?
Happy with that, so thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Well done,
Thank you,
Riley. So yeah, just touching on that. So obviously, guys, there's a reason why we rotate you guys. So Riley, Jake, you listening? You guys are some of the younger ones. I know some of you don't want to play on all the positions we put you in. We put Riley's been a defender, left wing, striker, right wing. It's very important at this stage to keep rotating position. And whenever you are playing in a position, if you want to ask us and say, what are you expecting, or what do you think I should be doing this position, we'll tell you, just like Grant said now about being on the left wing, how you can beat people, how many crosses you can put in, those kind of things. Discuss what you think we want from you, and we are working with people like Grant to find that out. I'm going to go down to another under-7 player of ours, Jake. Jake, do you have, I know you were too shy a bit earlier to ask a question. Do you have a question yet? Do you want to ask anything before I move on to the next person?
How do you know when you play when you're in a position that you don't know what to do in the position?
Okay. So Jake, tell me what position you play at the moment.
Defender.
Or you're happy playing? Defender. And what position are you don't feel comfortable playing that you're referring to?
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper. Okay.
No,
Remember that.
Defender I'm comfortable in.
Okay, and then what are you not comfortable in?
I'm not comfortable in being striker or goalkeeper.
So what you need to do is that if you're not comfortable, okay, you need to you need to speak to your coach and say, Coach, how, in that position, what do you want me to do? Coach, I need to know what you want me to do. Okay, and also, Jake, do you watch soccer? Do you watch a lot of football on the TV?
Yes.
So who's your favorite team?
Croatia.
Croatia. Okay. So who's the striker of Croatia? Do you know?
Hey Jake, do you know who the striker for Croatia is? You might not. It's quite a complicated name.
Okay, so Jake, even if you do or don't know the striker of Croatia, I think it's well, he's like a attacking midfielder. Okay. So Jake, it's important that the coach is doing that to put you in a different position, because he wants you to learn something. Okay, he wants you to learn a part of the game that maybe you're not used to learning, and then it also can help you then understand your teammates as well. So when they play in that position, then when they miss a goal, then you can also go, okay, I was in that position at some point in time and I missed a goal. Now I understand a little bit better what it takes to actually do what I need to do. And maybe you'll be more understanding of your teammates. You'll have a better understanding of the game, which is very, very important. But the coach is doing this because he wants you to learn something often. And then you need to go to your coach. You need to say, Coach, why do you put me in this position? What do I need to do in this position? That's the most important thing.
All right, so I'm going to go down to the Tanton brothers. Oscar and Felix, are you there with us?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Tanton brothers, Grant, to give you an idea, the Tantons have been with us since the beginning as well. Oscar is also an under-11 playing for the high-performance team. I've never seen such a tough tackling little under-11 in my life, to be honest. Felix is also part of many tournament winning squads with the under-8 last year. He's playing under-9 now. Very, very, very talented team that's coming through. Probably one of my favorites group of players that we've also had since they were very, very little. So yeah, they've got Halpa United basically bred into them. Hey, Tanton brothers, do you have any questions for Grant?
How is lockdown affecting you?
How's it affecting me? So on a football level,
Yeah.
it's affecting me because at the moment, so remember, scouting is about planning. So I have to plan our future squads for future seasons ahead. So it's affecting me because the problem is that we don't know what's going on. So it's hard to plan future squads when we don't know when we're going to start football again. Also, it's affecting me in a way that that my being a scout is mainly being on a football field, watching young talented boys like yourself play. And I get a lot of enjoyment from that, and I can't do it. So I'm a little bit upset and a little bit frustrated, as you guys are. So that's how it's affecting me at the moment. I just wish that we could get back onto a football field as soon as possible and watch a lot of you talented boys on a football field show what you're made of.
Okay, my question is, what are you looking for in an attacking player?
Yeah. So I mean, it's attacking players. The end goal of a football game is to score more goals than the opposition. Okay. So as an attacking player, we're looking for someone that's very creative, that can create chances. Okay. And then obviously with strikers, you're looking for someone that's going to finish those chances. But as an attacking player, generally, you're looking for someone to be a creative force. So either they are through like amazing through balls for the strikers to finish. They are dribbling past players. They're putting in lots of good crosses. But basically making the defense very, very worried. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone that when they get on the ball, they're looking to cause damage. And when you're off the ball, we also look, because I don't look just for a player on the ball. You have to also look when they don't have the ball. And you're always looking for players that are creating space, making the defenders think all the time. That's what you're looking for. And the best, Aguero, Sergio Aguero is an example. You don't see him a lot in a football game, but what he does is that he moves around all the time to create space for either himself to score a goal or for other players to get into certain positions. And then you obviously get players like a Jadon Sancho or Raheem Sterling. I know I'm using Man City examples, but what they do is that as soon as they get the ball, they're already worrying defenders. The defenders are starting to sweat as soon as they get the ball, and that's the kind of players that we are looking for.
Okay, cool. Then we're going to move on to Jude Samuels. Jude's another under 11 that's already pushed his way into the under 12 high performance team. Jude was the first Hout Bay United player to score in the high performance league, so we're all very proud of Jude. Obviously a bit disappointed we couldn't see more of him so far this year, but very big things for this young man. Jude had very good questions last week. I'm very excited to hear him this week. Jude, what is your question for Grant?
My question is, how much of the scouted players actually get scouted for Cape Town City or in general?
Okay, good question. So I've got a database of roughly about 1,200 players. Okay, and those are players that I've noticed, or the scouts that I work with that are my talent spotters in certain areas have identified. So those are good players. They're not average players. They're good players. We only allowed 40 players into our youth structure because we only start at 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. So we allowed 40 players to come in. So obviously the criteria is very, 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 you have to be very, very good to get into our structure. So you really need to stand out as a player to get into our structure. We've got one player from Hout Bay that came directly from Hout Bay, which is Jose Jackson. And so Jose, how we started Jose was that he played in the Vale tournament, which is a big under-19 tournament that hopefully you guys will play in the future. And he was one of the best centre-backs in the tournament. And then obviously, we brought him into our centre. But then once you get into those 40 players, then there's still it still takes a while to go through our system to get into the PSL team. And then even if it's a smaller number, maybe even 10 or 15 can make it into the PSL team. So that means that you have to work very, very hard, have a very, very good mentality and mindset, and obviously be very, very talented. But talent alone doesn't make you a great footballer, because talent is the first step in the door, but it's the first step you are, and how hard you work that actually makes you into a professional player in the future.
There he is. All right, so Grant, Frankie's also been with us since the very beginning. Absolute speedster. He's played every single position known to us, so also breaking into the under 12 high performance team. Frankie, what is your question for Grant?
Okay, how can I balance my soccer and my academics? I am finding it so hard, want to do soccer and neglecting my academics.
Okay, that's a very good question. So, it's academics. I'm just going to say up front that academics is more important than football. Okay, in all instances, even if you had to make Cape Town City, in our elite training groups, etc., academics is far more important than football. Academics is far more important than football because with football you can get an injury. You can be at the top of your career, you get an injury and you've got nothing to fall back on. And also, school often teaches you a lot more than what football does. Because if you're a well-educated person and you're doing well at school, okay, because what I do is that when I scout players and we bring players in and we're close to signing them, I ask for their school reports. And the reason I do that is to show how dedicated you are as a person. Because sometimes I can see a talented player and they play 3 or 4 games that I watch and I really like them. but you really, to understand the person that we're bringing into our football club, it's really important to understand what kind of person they are. And you might not be the cleverest person at school, but if your marks are good, it means that you're working hard at least. You know, and balancing, balancing school and sports is tough. Balancing everything is tough. But maybe what you need to do is that if you're going to take football really seriously, and you need to take academics really seriously, then you need to maybe make other sacrifices. So maybe if you have Xbox or PlayStation, then maybe you have to spend less time doing that, or less time watching TV, or less time playing with your friends. If you want to take football seriously, then you must take academics and football seriously, and that's the best way of doing it. So either waking up a little bit earlier in the morning to do some homework when you've got practice that day. That's a good thing to do. But you have to make sure that you just have time for both. It's very, very important. Never choose academics over football. Always, if you're going to choose football, choose it with academics. Never buy it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, great. So yeah, just touching on that, guys, I think all of your coaches at Happy Nights have said the same thing. You guys need to do well at school. To give you an idea, someone that Grant just mentioned, you mentioned Jose Jackson, who's a player that used to play for us and now is with the Cape Town City team. He is a teenager. You actually know his little brother, Jody Jackson, who's part of the under-10s. Little Jody, his brother plays at Cape Town City. He's had quite a big injury problem for a while now. It's something that I was speaking to him, his dad, about school, and obviously trying to get through to him that he needs to keep doing really well at school, because even though he's made it to Cape Town City, which is an amazing achievement, it's his career might not always be around because of injuries. So it's very important for you guys to do well at school. It's something that I feel a lot with, and if you're not doing well at school, I think I come down on quite hard on some of you. So yeah, cool, Frankie. Thanks for that.
Alex,
also,
sorry to jump in, Frankie. Another thing, and to all the boys, it's important that you understand the importance of school, because what I do is that if I see you as a talented footballer, okay, and that's one big tick, okay, and then I talk to you, I talk to your family, I see that you're a good kid, that you listen to your parents, you're hardworking, that's another big tick. But the last final tick is that when I get your score report and I see that you're doing well at school, then that's the big final. If I see that you're failing all your subjects or you're doing really badly, then that's going to be a big cross. We probably, for me, and for Cape City, we probably wouldn't sign a player that's failing at school, doing really badly at school, because it shows that they're not putting enough effort into important things in life.
All right, cool. Yeah, so it's very important. If you ever need motivation for school, make football that motivation sometimes, guys, because you might be thinking, I don't need to do my schoolwork because I love playing football. But just remember, you've just heard from one of the biggest scouts in the country that if you haven't got good grades, you might not become a professional because of that single reason. So use that as a motivation. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that, Frankie.
Hi, Grant.
Hi, Jayden. How are you?
Fine, thanks, and you? My question is, how does it feel to be one of the biggest scouts in the country?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. So remember, scouts are always like behind the scenes. We kind of are on football fields, but we never in the media or in newspapers. So for me, I try and do my job in a way that I don't really care about how big I am, if that makes any sense. I care about the players the talent that there is in Cape Town, and my job is to make sure that we find the best talent and the best players in Cape Town, so that Cape Town as a club, Capital City as a club, and also Cape Town as a city can really show what the talent is about. So, I don't know if I'm the biggest or the smallest in the PSL, but I think it's just important that you must maybe take this into your football as well. Never think that you're the best. As soon as you start thinking you're the best, then what's going to happen is you're going to start slacking off. You're going to, I'm the best, I don't need to work. And even the best players in the world, Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, all the best players in the world, they never think, they know that they're the best, they might think that they're the best at some point, but they always keep on working to try and be better and better and better and better. So never think you're the best. Always just try and be better all the time. That's the most important thing.
I think just one thing that I would like Grant to talk about before he talks about whatever he wants to discuss is basically your journey into this. How did you become a scout? How did you, if you could just give the boys a bit of background of who you are, where you come from, and how you got to where you got to now.
Okay, so that was actually going to be my little message. Sorry, then. We can cover it in one question.
Right.
So that they don't fall asleep. So, so guys, I actually, funny enough, I started my scouting journey in Hart Bay. So I used to be at Camps Bay Football Club, and what I did is that we had some talented boys at Camps Bay. I was a coach there at the time, so I didn't start off as a scout. I started off as a coach. And what I knew is that I stayed in Hart Bay. I lived in Hart Bay. My parents still live in Hart Bay, and I said, like, there must be so much talent in Hart Bay, in the harbour, in Hangburg, and in Yetu, and in the surrounds of Hart Bay. So actually, I went to the schools, and we had little coaching clinics, and we selected some of the better players. And funny enough, the first player I ever scouted was X, who's the head coach of Hart Bay. The first ever player I scouted was X. And another player that was with me, he was actually at Camps Bay, so I didn't scout him, but I was very close to developing him over many years, is Byron. So I think Byron is some of your guys' coaches, Coach Byron. So Byron will tell you, and Byron was never the most talented player in the world. But he was one of the most hardworking, dedicated players that you could rely on, no matter what happened. But so when I moved to Hellenic, so I started Hellenic Football Club with Mark Byrne after I left Camps Bay, and the two players that left to come with me was X and Byron. And what used to happen is that they used to travel with a My City bus from Hart Bay all the way to Morrison. It used to take them an hour and a half to get there, and I used to drop them off at the top of Signal Hill, and they used to. Then Byron's parents used to pick them up. And they never ever missed a training session. Ever. And I think that they both were very unlucky. They could have probably played PSL or NFT. They were a little bit unlucky that Hellenic as a club didn't make it to the top level. But if they had, they would have probably played there. But it's so great to see them now coaching, because they're hardworking, dedicated people. Now they've made a career in football. Even though Byron's still playing, but they made a career in football because they were hardworking, they did well at school, and they love football, so that's kind of my journey. And then I left Hellenic for a few months. I wanted to take a break from football, and then I got a call from Cape Town City to join Cape Town City. And I've been there for close to 4 years now. So since the club started, I've been there. And I learn new things all the time. I learn new things about players. I also sometimes am wrong, and I've made mistakes in the past. But at the same time, that it's my goal to try and make sure that we get the best talent out of Cape Town that we possibly can. And there's so much talent in Hart Bay, and there's so much talent that I've seen in Hart Bay. You guys just need to know that you are being watched. Hart Bay is a place where we're always looking for talent. And you just need to continue working hard and showing your true potential. On every single, like with Jose, I have to think of Jose, Jody's brother. I knew him when he was 8 years old. Okay, I knew him when he was 8 years old. And I used to watch him every single year until he was 16, and then we signed him. But every single year, he didn't disappoint me. And when he was ready, then we signed him. So every year, you need to make sure that, and also always play. And Jude, can you hear me? Because I think you see this, and I know that you were the first goal scorer in that, and this applies to all of you guys, Oscar included, is that always play like somebody is watching. Always play like somebody's watching, because you never know who's watching. You don't know, before this video, you didn't know what I look like. There could be a scout from Man City. There could be a scout from Man United. You never know.